So, very good evening, all. Today, we are going to discuss another topic, and this is our second class from this History for Exams as a free session for your UGC NET examination. And today, we'll be discussing about the chronology of kings, one of the most important topic. Frequently, we can see some of the asked from this region, either from this ancient or medieval. That's a period basically regarding the chronology of kings. In the modern India, you will have some kind of chronology questions based on certain events mentioned as a five statements. Such a kind of questions can be seen in modern India. Anyhow, start today's lesson, chronology of kings. And in this lesson, we'll be discussing about three very important dynasties. Okay, Haryanka dynasty, Shishunagas, and Nanda dynasty. We'll be discussing these three dynasties through their kings. So first of all, we can have a good clarity on what are these three dynasties. These three dynasties you have to know. So the period 6th century BC is simply referred to Mahajanapadas. So during this period, we can see there existed many big cities, otherwise Mahajanapadas in Indian subcontinent, and we can see according to Anguttara Nikaya of this Buddhist text, we can see around 16 Mahajanapadas existed in Indian subcontinent. One among Magadha in Bihar region. From this Magadha, there we can see the emergence and development of the more dynasties and empire in India. So in Magadha, since 5th or 6th century onwards, we can see many dynasties, starting with Haryanka, later comes Shishunaga, then comes Nanda dynasty. Finally, by overthrowing this Nanda dynasty, there is going to establish the first empire in the history of India, that is called as Mauryan Empire. So this is the basic idea you have to have. Now we'll be discussing about these three dynasties in a nutshell. So why we are discussing this topic? That is very important for your examination. You can expect a direct question like, which of the following king did this kind of sacrifice for your 2023 examination? So direct question is very possible. Another thing is regarding the chronological question. Sometimes you will be asked to arrange the rulers of Nanda dynasty. Previously, there was a question like that. Nanda dynasty, you will be given around 4 or 5 kings of Nanda dynasty, and you have to chronologically arrange their kings. This will be a second type of question. Third type of questions will be regarding the contributions of these kings made. So these three types of question can be asked from this area, and we are going to have a comprehensive study in one model that is called as chronology. You will be understanding what we are going to discuss in the next slide. Okay. So first we are going to talk about dynasty, Haryanka dynasty. So as part of we are discussing about this Haryanka dynasty, first of all you have to have this understanding, 6th century BC, and the period is 544 to 413 BC. So this is the general period. So here, when you are considering the map of the country, you can see some of the regions such as Rajagriha, Padaliputra, Vaishali. These locations are somewhat important, but how you have to study this map? You have to study this map based on this location period called as Mahajanapadas. When you are going to study about this period of Mahajanapadas, you will be studying about the 16 big cities and their capitals and regions with a map. So study or map-based study is very important in this area. So you have to learn these locations, some other regions of northern part of India. So we'll be discussing about this Haryanka dynasty. The first important dynasty is actually Brihadra dynasty, not much important, but you have to focus on this dynasty called as Haryanka dynasty. So in the Haryanka dynasty, we have three very important rulers. Discuss each and every one, starting with Bimbisara. Okay, is the first ruler, ruled between 544 493 BC. So if you don't know, just remember, if you don't know about what is this BC or BCE, AD or CE, everything is provided in our YouTube channel, History for Exam itself. You can watch that video there, okay, for a better clarity. So Bimbisara, he ruled between this period. You have no need to learn this period, but basically understand that it is around 540 BC or 6th century BC itself. Bimbisara is going to rule this Magadhan region. And he was a contemporary to Buddha. So he was one of the contemporaries of Buddha. There are many contemporaries of Buddha that was asked for your examination once. That topic also. But we are not going to that topic. Instead, we are simply focusing on made by Bimbisara. So he ruled for 49 years. The most important contributions are he expanded the boundaries of dynasty. So what we can see, the Magadhas here is going to expand boundaries. How he is going to expand the boundaries? Through a marriage alliance. Other regions, and he is adding that region, annexing that region in the name of marriage. So he is conducting marriage alliances. This is one of the most important ancient Indian or medieval Indian strategy adopted by the rulers. Even modern system also, we know that the Bombay was given to English East India Company by the Portuguese as part of dowry. Okay, similar to that, the marriage alliance is very important with a neighbor state. Okay, so it is said that one of his queen, he married many women. So one of his queen was sister of Prasenajit of Kosala. So the kingdom of Kosala ruled by King Prasenajit, one of the most important contemporary king. So Prasenajit's sister was married to whom? Bimbisara. Thus he established a friendly relationship with the kingdom of Kosala, and Kosala was one of the most important or most powerful kingdom of his contemporary. So what we can see, he established a neutral policy with that Kosala state. Some other regions other than Kosala. So as part of this marriage, he received what? Kashi as dowry. So he got one of his province called as Kashi, and thus he expanded his kingdom. And he also conquered the state of Anga. Here we can see Magadha. Next to that, here is Anga. Okay, Anga. And his first capital was Giriraja, or otherwise called as Rajagriha. So you have to know both these names. Rajagriha, otherwise called as Giriraja. So, and during his period, he appointed Prince Kuniga. You have to note this name also, because for a net examination, such kind of questions can be expected. Prince Kuniga, his name is Ajatashatru. So Ajatashatru's what pet name was Kuniga, Prince Kuniga. He was appointed as the governor of Chamba region after annexing Anga. So the river Chamba is flowing between Anga and Magadha. So he is appointed as the governor of Chamba after annexing Anga region. So the name of Ajatashatru as Prince Kuniga, Girivaraja as another name of Rajagriha. He conquered the regions of Anga and received Kashi as dowry. You have to know, you have to learn these kind of information. Sometimes you'll get a direct question. So I am always teaching, like, if you are learning a particular paragraph, just to try to formulate or just to try to establish or try to make certain questions from this area. So I can ask one question from this upcoming net examination, like, which of the following king received Kashi as dowry by marrying from Kosala? You can expect some other options, not need to be Bimbisara. Sometimes it will be given percentages or something, Ajatashatru, even sometimes will be asked for Shishunaga dynasty, or any ruler can be asked. Even Ashoka, name of the Ashoka can be also given as option. So you have to learn accordingly. That's my point. So the first point is a direct question. Which all type of direct questions can be expected, that you have to work on. Okay. Hope it is clear. Is that clear? How you have to prepare from each and every notes?
Sir.
Okay, fine. So Bimbisara. Next comes, after Bimbisara, there comes his son Ajatashatru. It is believed that, according to Buddhist texts, it is believed that his father and came into throne. Okay. So, and according to various sources, the political supremacy of Magadha was actually led by Ajatashatru, because the region. Ajatashatru is going to establish a strong governance there. He defeated the strong Vajji confederacy there. He conducted a 16-year conquest for this Lichavi region and finally got that region. So this is one of the very important region. As we discussed Kashi about Bimbisara, you have to note this Vajji or Lichavi province. Vajji confederacy and Lichavi is a province. Okay, where Buddha they lived. Okay, so you have to note this point. For 16 years, he conducted many battles with this Lichavi area and finally conquered and annexed with the Magadhan state. You have to note this political congress. And liberally, he was liberal in religious policies. And one other important point is that he conducted the first General Council of Buddhism or Buddhist under his patronage at Rajagriha. It was around 483 BC. My memory is correct. So just to note this point, Ajashatru. The most important contribution is that political expansion of and annexation of this Lichavi region and first Buddhist council. This council you will be learning in separate chapter under Buddhism. Okay. After Ajashatru, there comes Udayin. Another most important king is Udayin. Okay. And Udayin, very important till 444 BC. He laid the foundation city of Pataliputra. So the city of Pataliputra was actually built by this person. Pataliputra. You have to learn such kind of unique and exact facts. Okay. He constructed a fort at the confluence of Ganga and Swan River. Just this much of information is enough, but not these rulers. According to followers were the Udayin. Some are son of these are sometimes the sons of Udayin. One is Udaybidda, or otherwise called as Udayin itself. After him, there comes three very important successors: Aniruddha, Munda, Nagadarshaka. This name is very important because he is the last ruler of this Haryanka dynasty. He is going to be killed by Shishunaga, and he is going to establish the Shishunaga dynasty. So here, another type of question you can expect. That is question number 2. That is chronology based question. Consider the following. You will be provided with the 5 options. 4 and 5. Will be given Bimbisara, then it will be given Munda, then Nagadarshaka, then Udayin, Ajashatru. Arrange the rulers in chronological order, and you will be given 4 options down to that. So you have to understand that if you are learning about a particular dynasty having more than 4 rulers, you have to learn the chronology of that ruling dynasty, because there's a good chance for asking such kind of questions from this area. So here your options will be first one Bimbisara, then Ajashatru, then Udayin, then Munda, then Nagadarshaka. For that, you have to learn this one also. That's my point. Hope it is clear. The pattern of question is clear. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. So this is our topic discussion on Haryanka dynasty. After that, we'll be discussing about Shishunaga dynasty. As I informed earlier, Naga dynasty was killed by Shishunaga. Is going to establish his dynasty of Shishunaga in 413 BC. Okay. Similarly, as you discussed here, you have to note it is 544. It is 413. You have to learn such a kind of beginning years and ending years. That is very important. Not need to study all these years, but you have to focus on the beginning year of that dynasty. It's for a better chronological idea. So regarding certain points about Shishunaga, is the founder of Shishunaga dynasty, named after him. And his first capital was at Rajagiri itself, later changed to Pataliputra. Now tell me, who constructed the city of Pataliputra? Udayin. Yeah,
Udayin, sir.
Yeah, Udayin. We just discussed it. So such kind of information that you have to recollect. So I'm always saying to my students that if you are learning anything new, just to give utmost focus and try to connect whenever the information comes. And we discussed about Rajagriha, who was the most important ruler who Rajagriha. Bimbisara. Started with Bimbisara. Then comes Ajashatru. You have to have such kind of idea. You will be able to remember any time. Later, capital was relocated to Vaishali. So what we can say, during Shishunaga period itself, capital was shifted to Vaishali. First one, it was in Rajagriha or Giriraja, then Pataliputra, then Vaishali. The most important contribution or the feature of King Shishunaga politically is that he conquered the region called as Avanti in Madhya Pradesh region, Avanti region. Nandivardhana or Avandivardhana. The king of Avanti kingdom was Nandivardhana, otherwise called as Avandivardhana. By defeating that king Shishunaga, actually, this conflict with this Avanti kingdom of Madhya Pradesh that started during the period of Haryanka dynasty itself. Finally, Shishunaga is going to end that 100 years conflict by simply conquering this region, Avanti kingdom, from the hands of Avandivardhana. This is the most important point. As we discussed Bimbisara, we discussed about Kashi, Ajashatru, discussed about Vajji Confederacy. Similar to Shishunaga, here you have to learn about Avanti kingdom. So Avanti, thus of Magadhan Empire. This information itself can be asked for your next examination as a direct question. So you have to learn accordingly. Okay. Thus you have to learn each and every point. After Shishunaga, there comes his son Kalashoga, otherwise called as common name is Kalashoga. Kalashoga. Okay, he's son of Shishunaga. He transferred his capital to Pataliputra again. He transferred his capital again back to Pataliputra from Vaishali. And during the period of Shishunaga, he was the governor of Varanasi. So he ruled at Varanasi. And during his period, they held the second Buddhist council in Vaishali in 383 BC. So you can simply connect what the second council was at Vaishali. Tell me, Ajashatru's council was held at where? Ajashatru's is Rajagriha, because we know that he ruled Rajagriha. Similarly, when we discuss about Kalashoga, you have to come in your mind that he ruled in the regions of Vaishali. So you can simply connect that the second Buddhist council was held during his period, and that will be obviously in Varanasi. Okay. So after him, or during his last period, it is believed that he divided his empire among his 10 sons. So don't worry, you have no need to study about his 10 sons. But just to know, he later divided the empire among 10 sons. Okay. And his successor was Nandivardhana. So first we discussed about Shishunaga, then comes Kalashoga. You have to note these three names. That's enough. That's enough. Okay. So he became later the king of Magadha or Vaishali region or somewhere. It is believed that Nandivardhana, he was killed by Nanda and the Nanda dynasty. So you have to note these three rulers, and this Nandivardhana is going to be killed by another person called as Mahapadmananda. Thus he is going to establish this Nanda dynasty. Now the story says like that. According to Harshacharita, this Harshacharita, anybody?
Bana.
Very good. It's not Bana, it's Bana Bhatta. Okay. Make it full. Okay. Bana Bhatta. So Bana Bhatta, okay, he wrote this work called as Harshacharita during the period of King Harshavardhana. The previous history of that region, he says that the Shishunaga king Nandivardhana, he was killed by some of his close relatives in his capital itself, in his palace itself, or in his home itself. That was a condition of ancient Indian politics. Not only in ancient Indian politics, every monarchical state there was some kind of chaos, okay, or internal disturbances for throne. So he was killed by a dagger thrust into his throat in the neck of the wood of the capital. So he was killed in his capital by having some kind of dagger was pierced into his throat. Thus he is going to die. There are some other opinions regarding that. Nandivardhana had this son Mahapadmananda in a Shudra woman, so that son cannot be proclaimed as the next king. So he rejected that boy. There are many stories like that, but finally what we can see, Mahapadmananda, it is believed that he killed his father Nandivardhana and established another dynasty of his own name that is called as Nanda dynasty. Okay. Oh, it's not about Nandivardhana, it's about Mahanandin. We missed one person. Okay. Nandivardhana, he was the ninth son of Kakavarna or Kalashoga. After him, there comes Mahanandin. Our story is about this Mahanandin at all. Okay. So he is a legitimate son from Shudra wife named as Mahapadmananda. So Mahapadmananda is actually going to kill whom? Mahanandi, not Nandivardhana. So you have to note these four names. Once again, Shishunaga, Kalashoga, Nandivardhana, and Mahanandin. So Mahanandin had one son called as Mahapadmananda. Mahanandin had one son called as Mahapadmananda, and Mahapadmananda is going to kill his father Mahanandin in 345 BC, and is going to in Pataliputra because Mahanandin was ruling at Pataliputra. It's okay. He's the last king of Shishunaga dynasty of Indian subcontinent according to Puranas. Basically, understand this much of chronological important points. So hope it is we're going to discuss about this Nanda dynasty. In Nanda dynasty, you have to learn about these 3 9 kings. But don't worry, you know, we don't know much about some of the kings. But basically understand that Mahapadmananda, he killed whom? Mahanandin, and established this Nanda dynasty. It's the first Kshatriya dynasty. Okay. Because it is believed that he belongs to Shudra or Barbar dynasty, Barbar, having occupation of Barbar family. Whatever it is. According to Mahabodhi Vamsha of Buddhist texts, it is believed that there existed 9 kings of this Nanda dynasty ruled between 345 BC and 321 BC. After this, what we can see, Maurya number is going to establish. Okay. So, Ugrasena or Mahapadmananda, Pandugadi, Bhudapala, Rashtrapala, Govishanga, Dashasiddhaga, Kaivarta, Dhanananda. So there's a good chance for asking the chronology of rulers from here. As we discussed earlier, we'll be provided with 5 rulers at least, and will be asked Ugrasena, Kaivarta, Panduga, Dhanananda, Bhudapala. You have to chronologically arrange. So you have to study accordingly. Ugrasena, then comes Panduga and Pandugadi. Govishanga, Dashasiddhaga, Kaivarta and Dhana. These are the 2 last important rulers. You can study like these are the first 2 important rulers. These are the last 2 important rulers. That sometimes that information will be enough to clear or to eliminate other options. Anyhow, regarding the kings, Mahapadmananda, 45 BC. The Puranas call him as Mahapadma, and Buddhist tradition call him Ugrasena. That's why we have 2 titles. Purana is called as Mahapadma, and according to Buddhism, known as Ugrasena. So that's why you have to learn both of the names. According to Jain Parishta Parvan text, it's a textbook of Jainism. The first Nanda king was a son of a barber by a Ganiga. So the king Mahapadmananda was a son of barber. So it is, you have to understand that first non-Kshatriya dynasty. That's the point. Also, the Puranas describe the king Mahapadma as the son of king of Shishunaga dynasty by a Shudra woman, as we discussed. Also known as Egrad and Sarva Shatrandaga. Egrad means person, the monarchical, the supreme. Such kind of words are used for Egrad. And Sarva Shatrandaga meaning the slayer or the foe of Kshatriya. Meaning he was against this Kshatriya. Such a reference can be seen about this king Mahapadmananda. So he is having titles Egrad and Sarva Kshatrandaga. You have to note these 2 titles. And he also established his capital at Pataliputra, as we discussed about his father Mahanandin ruled at Pataliputra itself. And Kalpaga was one of his ministers. Okay, one of his ministers. That much point. And after Mahapadmananda, there comes Panduga Nanda, then Pangupati. The second ruler of Nanda dynasty was Panduga. Second son of Mahapadmananda is Pangupati Nanda. So just to note this chronology will be asked here. Because we have now information about Bhudapala, Rashtrapala, Govishanga, Dashasiddhaga, Kaivarta. Finally, we have this ruler, the last ruler or the 9th ruler, Dhanananda, is the last ruler of Nanda dynasty. Is known as Agramis or Sandramis by Greek records. Agramis or Sandramis, you have to note such kind of titles. And it is believed that he had a large army consisting of 2 lakh men, 20,000 cavalry, 3,000 elephants, 2,000 chariots on side, meaning that much was by this person. Okay, and during this period, what we can see, Alexander is going to invade the northwestern part of India in a particular battle of Hydaspes in 326 BC. Okay, so this is the information that is out about this Nanda dynasty. So once again, we will be asking 3 types of questions from this area. One is a direct question about the features or contributions about the king. Second one, those dynasties having more than 4 rulers. Okay, as part of that, you have to note Shishunaga dynasty having Shishunaga, Kakavarna, Nandivardhana, Mahanandi. Similarly, before that, you have to know about Haryanka dynasty, beginning with Bimbisara, Ajashatru, and finally Udayin and Aniruddha, Munda, and Nagadarshaka. At least you should know the most important rulers and the first and the last ruler of every dynasty, because you can use that information to eliminate further options or other options. So finally, we have discussed this much of topics in this module. So you can understand that Magadhan Empire till 321 BC that we are going to discuss. We discussed about Bimbisara, later Ajatashatru. Okay, then yeah, these are some of the regions. And later, finally, Nanda dynasty. Finally, here you can see Shishunaga dynasty is going to here. It's called as Avanti. And as you know, Shishunaga, he entered this Avanti conflict. And finally, Nanda dynasty is going to this much of area. Finally, what we can see, Alexander is going to invade this area in 326 BC. So this is the information that we have discussed so far. Do one thing, listen to this class again. I'll give you the record session. Listen to this class again. Take down the major points. Have a good conceptual clarity how the state is going to evolve each and every period, and the most important contribution of every rulers. That finally, before ending our today's session for your 2023 February examination. Arrange the following Sunga dynasty rulers chronologically. This is a question that I mentioned. Pushyamitra, Vasumitra, Pulindaga, Agnimitra, Devabhumi is actually Devabhuti. Okay, even for UGC net examination, there are many kind of spelling mistake and other things, as we are generally learning from other sources. Okay, so you have to chronologically arrange. Could you please try, guys? Just to try yourself. I'll give you some of the hints. Just tell me.
4 is not.
Anybody? Sir, why? Pushyamitra Sunga is a founder.
Founder of the dynasty.
Is the founder, so he should be in the first. So only
Option C.
Option C. Okay, so Pushyamitra. After that comes Agnimitra. Will be the second one. Then comes
D is there, sir. Second one.
Vasumitra. Yeah, Vasumitra will be there. Then finally, as you guys know, Devabhuti is the last one. So he will be the fifth one. So ADB is E. Finally, you will to C. Okay, so answer will be C. So this is a basic question that, as I said earlier, you have to know the founder of a dynasty, the last ruler of a dynasty, and other important rulers of that dynasty. Important, not each and everything. So if that is enough, if that is with you, you can simply eliminate other options and come to answer. This is one type of question. And another type of question is like this one, chronologically. It's a chronological based, but not a dynastical based, but it's a feature based question, the contribution based question. Just to try to answer. It's a simple question, very simple question. By what we have learned now, it's answer.
Between 2 and 3,
First
sir.
option D. Ajasatru was the first one.
Yeah, first
Even.
option. Yeah. First option.
One is Ajayasatru war with Lichavi.
Yeah, that we discussed. Do you remember?
Answer
Yes.
is between 2 and 3, sir. Because Ashoka is the later king.
Next, fight between Alexander Porus. Next, Alexander death.
Okay, got it. Okay. First one will be Ajayasatru war with Lichavis. So you can
Option B,
eliminate 3.
One.
Answer 1. Okay, fine. Answer will be 1. Okay, fine. The first option will be Ajayasatru. Okay. You know that Ashoka belongs to which dynasty? Mauryan Empire. Before the Mauryan Empire, what we can see? Alexander invasion in the northern part of India. So obviously, C will be there after E and A. You can think like that.
Sir,
Simple. If you don't know the yeah. Yes.
sir, if you look the options correct carefully, you will find that E and A are contradicting. E and A.
E and A.
And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
will get the answer if you see carefully.
Simply.
Alexander and Porus fight and Alexander death.
Yeah.
It's a very easy one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Only, yeah. Only after E, there can be A. Only after E, there can be A. First there should come E, then only A should be there.
Yeah, only a
Is he
option
looking?
one is satisfying the
Yeah.
criteria.
Yeah, that's a simple logic. That's a simple logic. But if you want to know somewhat idea about this topic, you can go for like, if you know the story very well, you can simply answer this one. Ashoka is there. Nahapana defeated and killed by Gautami Putra. Gautami Putra belongs to which dynasty?
Sataka.
Shadavana dynasty. Shadavanas.
Those are the feudatories of Mauryan empires.
Yeah, Gautami Putra Sadagarni. You know that. It's the only post-Mauryan dynasty. It's a Mauryan. Is a Haryangan or a pre-Mauryan. Is a pre-Mauryan. You can simply chronology dynastically can be divided like, or simply as one of our students said, first Alexander before he has to die. So only after E there comes A. Such kind of simple logic can be applied. So this is the model of question that you can expect. This one also asked for a 2023 prelims examination, not 2023 February net examination. Okay, so that's all about today's lesson. Hope the class is useful for you. That's all for now. Thank you.